Michael, what's your position where day game, social circle game, and cold approach in general are concerned?
Yeah, cold approach is great. It's just cold approach with intent that seems to be problematic. It's something, I've had at this point 4,400 clients, and I also host, at this point, I've hosted 68 beauty pageants. And I talk to these really attractive women. I ask them all the time, like, are you meeting guys that come up and show any kind of intent? And the answer is never. We're talking about girls who are like 9s and 10s. The answer is never. So I went and reverse engineered that. And then we also looked up the peer reviewed data in sociology, evolutionary biology, and evolutionary psychology. And then my clients, once I started explaining to them to stop showing sexual intent on the rip, they started doing much, much, much better. Unless these guys were like in the top 4.5%, like most good looking men, they could show intent. But for the most part, the other guys were doing that, and it was problematic. As far as social circle is concerned, I mean, the main thing about it is access. So like for instance, I'm just going to be around more attractive women than anybody just doing cold approach. So my cold approach works because I end up at a mansion party where there's like 7 girls for every guy. And that has to do with my social circle, my networking ability, my ability to garner access because of female teammates that I have in my life and because of high status guys that I have in my life. Yeah, my issue is nothing to do with like actual cold approaching is extremely important. That's why I have 8 immersions a year here in Las Vegas, and each guy has to go up and talk to 50 girls every single night. It's not cold approach. It's cold approach with intent that I have an issue with.
Alrighty, Dean, what's your position in this?
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the videos on Michael's Instagram that I wanted to talk about because I just wanted to get clarity on this. I saw a video where you said, gone are the days that the average guy can walk up to an attractive girl and say, hey, I thought you were pretty, and proposition her and show intent.
Yeah.
That's not my experience. I don't agree with that at all.
So you think in general, you just go up to really attractive women and show sexual intent and then it works?
Definitely. If you do it in a certain way. Because there's a double standard. There could be one guy, and if he's stifled, he's nervous, he doesn't have a rock solid self-image, he's low on confidence, we know that his sub-communications, the way that he comes across, is not going to be attractive. By the same token, there are guys out there that truly believe in themselves. They do have confidence. They've got that charisma. And when we look at the fact that attraction isn't a choice, it doesn't matter if it's a 5 or it's a 10. The way that a man behaves when he approaches a girl is the determinant factor usually as to whether she finds him attractive and is interested or not. So that's my argument about that. And
yes. So, I mean, the psychological data does not back up what you're saying, and neither do my 4,400 clients. In general, there are definitely guys who go up and show massive levels of intent, and it works, but it's because she believes that his SMV is equal or higher than hers. And because of social media, because of dating apps, most women, their SMV is inflated in their own minds. And so the other thing is, like, if what you're saying is true, then what my guys should be doing should not result in any should not result in any dates, should not result in any relationships. And it does, like insanely high amounts. And so when I go and I talk to, beautiful women about this as well, I'm like, hey, how'd you meet the last 5 guys you dated? It's never a cold approach, ever. And it's not cold approach because it's not cold approach because they're like, oh, a guy came up to me and said something weird. It's because they're on stage in the VIP with me. It's because they're at the mansion party with me. It's because they're at Coachella with me. It's because they're at an EDC on the Marquee Sky Deck with me. And the reason why I'm at those places and never pay any money to go to those places is because of social circle. And so social circle is always, there's just no way, and I really hope you're not trying to make this argument. There's no way you can be around as many 10s as I can doing what I do. There's no possibility of it. And the reason I get to the places I get to is because I do not show intent to women. I friend zone every single woman I meet, and then they, through what a concept called mate choice copying in humans, they end up generating attraction in themselves for me. And there's tons of data on this. Lucy Hunt's study shows that as it shows the level of attractiveness between mates in the first month had a correlation of 0.72, but after 9 months, it was 0. This is where the guy who's a 5 can date the girl who's a 10. And there's also plenty of data that shows that your concept about basically mirror neurons, where you show like a positive mental state, that absolutely works when motivating your employees, when hanging out with your friends. But your sexual intent does not make women want to have sex with you. There is not one single shred of evidence anywhere that works. And I can give you 4,000 clients that'll tell you that doesn't work.
Okay, so when you're talking about whether cold approach works on certain women, are we talking about the
No,
nines, the tens,
cold approach works on any woman. That's not my point. It's not cold approach. So here's the thing, Dean. Like I understand that what I do is there's only one of me, but there's like millions of pickup artists. What I do is we show no intent to women. We make women compete for our attention. By definition, if I show intent to a woman who's done nothing to earn it, meaning she's only attractive, if I show intent to a woman who's done nothing to earn it, by definition, my intent is worthless. I only reserve my sexual intent for women who show me compliance, appreciation, or approval. Those are the only women that I'm going to do that with. And when I go meet these women, I have other beautiful women with me. And that is one thing. There's tons of books you can read. Why Women Have Sex by David Buss and Cindy Meston goes over this. There's tons of books and there's tons of studies that show when men are featured with other attractive women, other women find those men to be more attractive. And so that's what I do. And often it's cold approach, but it's not cold approach with intent. I totally
agree with pre-selection. If a man is seen with lots of attractive women, he is by default automatically attractive to other women. But the question I've got to you is, these beautiful women, when they're in a coffee shop, when they're in the gym, when they're walking back home from their yoga class, do you truly believe that these women are never giving their number up, never going on a date with some guy that's approached that woman?
Yeah, I mean,
that doesn't happen?
Generally, yeah, no, it definitely happens, but generally it's going to happen with guys who are more physically attractive on average. I'm not saying that there aren't exceptions. There certainly are. But what I found after being in this space for 18 years, I was an approach coach for several pickup companies for years before I gave that whole thing up. 20 years ago, right? Me and Mystery met 19 years ago. Mystery's actually here in my building right now. When I started doing that a long time ago, I gave that whole thing up once I came to the realization. What I did was I reverse analyzed. I'd be in a city like Atlanta, San Antonio, Dallas, San Francisco, San Diego, someplace like that, or Miami, and I would find girls that were stunningly beautiful. Two types of girls. Some that were taken, so they're in a relationship. And I would ask them, like, how'd you meet the guys that you dated? And I would also turn these women into wing women. I don't want to create chaos in their life, but they would introduce me to other women. Number two, I would find women that were attractive, and I would do the same thing. I would friend zone them, and they would introduce me to tons and tons and tons of other women. So it was very easy to do because I was able to generate attraction. If there was a woman in a coffee shop, what I would do is go up to her, be like, hey, how you doing? Logistical questions. And then I would probably invite her to something. I would invite her. It's an invite opener. And I would probably invite her to something. And in doing so, what happens is it makes the bridge for us to see each other much, much more solid. But there's tons of data that shows that men, when they show intent off the rip, are less attractive to women. Tons of it. And I've got some of the data right here I can show you. But when women are surveyed on a regular basis, when women are surveyed, they state that the thing that they find the most attractive is when they're uncertain about a man's intent. And that data is conclusive. And so that's what I do. I have a ton of women competing for my attention. They're uncertain of whether or not they like me. The girl that I'm seeing now, she told me, she's like, I wouldn't have noticed you at all. You're not my type physically, but I saw my roommate was interested in you, and that made me interested in you. And I showed no intent to her roommate. And so doing this, not only do you get into better events, you're just around more attractive women.
Okay, so just to clarify that question then, so when we're talking about a particularly beautiful woman, the question I've got is, are there guys out there that are approaching these women? They don't have built-in status, they don't have a social circle. There's some guy on the street, on the beach, in a coffee shop, in a mall, and they have something about them whereby they approach that woman, whether it's direct or it's not verbally direct. And that woman says, yes, I'll go on a date with you. And she goes on a date. Is it direct or not?
Is it direct or not? So he's intimating sexual intent off the initial.
Let's go with that, because the truth is, the way that I'm living my life and the way that I meet women is totally contradictory to what you're saying. I show intent straight away.
But no offense, my clients and I are with more attractive women, so that's the main difference, and more women in general, and so that's the main difference. What I'm saying is it? Can you do what? Can you, bro? You're about to get this. Come on, bro. You've at least looked at my Instagram. There's no way you believe that. There is no fucking way you believe that.
I absolutely believe that.
That you're with hot. Okay, bro. This is all we're doing. That's all we're doing for the rest of the show, bro. That's all we're doing for the rest of the show. Have you been to Chelsea in London? Yes, I've been to Chelsea, bro. This is all we're doing for the rest of the show. Okay, ready? Okay, can you see my screen? Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Ready? We're gonna show your video like this, bro. Bro, you are out of your. No, hold on. Sorry, I can't hear you. The music. All right, we're just gonna keep going through these, and you keep saying that you are around women as attractive as I am on a regular basis.
Have you been to Bali?
It does, but yeah, you're going to Bali where there's like a bunch of poor women there. They're like third world country, of course. You're talking about picking up, bro. I'm doing this in LA. I'm
talking about Russian models that look better than those girls there.
Yeah, bro. But the problem is you don't show that. There is no. I've been watching your social media, bro. We could have had a fine discussion. As soon as you said that you're around more attractive women than me, that is insane, bro. No one is going to believe you. And I'm doing it in the United States. I'm not going to Medellin. I'm not going to Poland. I'm doing this in the United, bro. Really? Hold on. Wait, everybody stop what you're doing. He's with hotter than, no, let me finish here.
What's wrong with
Poland? He's with hotter women than me. And like you're right there with 2 Chainz, right? Bro, come on, man. Come on. I appreciate the fact that you do cold approach and it's direct. You're not around more attractive women than me. You're just not. I'm sorry, brother. No one is going to agree with you on this.
I'm not. No, that's what I was about to say. I'm not around a higher volume of attractive women than you. But women in those videos that you're showing me, I absolutely attract them from direct game.
Why aren't you showing that? That would be my. See,
I can send you some videos later if you like. It's just
I watch tons of your videos, man, and like none of the girls look like that, and it wasn't large groups of women like that. I'm so like I understand what you're doing, but what you're doing is getting better at a horse and buggy, and I'm teaching guys to ride a bullet train. What I do is more efficient. I'm just around more. Like the question is this, man. Let me ask you this, Dean, real quick. Just be honest with me if you agree with this statement. If I put you in this situation,
nothing bad is going to happen. Nothing. I don't know why you would ever want to come out to Sahara tonight, because there's no bikini show or 10 of them. There's nobody here that you want to see. Wait, what's going on here?
If I put you in this position, would you be able to get laid?
No problem.
Okay, so why aren't you in that position, brother?
Because that's not how I live my life. You know, you're
that's
talking
really,
about.
We're having a debate, though, so you kind of do have to explain why you think that what I do wouldn't work.
I don't think what you do wouldn't work. I'm not saying that what you do doesn't work. I'm saying the average guy does not need to build social networks and become an events manager to be able to get access to beautiful women.
None of us are events managers. None of these are my events. These are all events that we help other people with. So we don't do any of that. By the way, when you say the average guy, he's an average guy. He's an average guy. He's an average guy. He's an average guy. Actually, he's below average. He's 4'11", 4'11", 4'11", 4'11". He's an average guy. He's an average guy. He's an average guy. He's a 5'8" Indian man. He's an average guy. He's an average guy. Dude, don't say this doesn't work for average guys. By the way, this is in Bali.
I also didn't say that.
Yeah.
I also didn't say that.
You did say this wouldn't work for average guys. You just said that a second ago.
No, what I'm saying is the average guy, if we look at our target audience, who are the guys that are struggling with women? What's the reason that these guys get to pick up in game? They lack confidence.
Generally because access.
They don't have social skills.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So what is a quicker route to sorting that guy's problems out? Is it teaching him how to get to parties when he goes to that party, he's going to be completely stifled? He's not going to be able to attract these women in the first place. Or is it working on his confidence and his social skills?
So you're doing the whole same fallacy that everyone who debates me does. And again, you're at a massive disadvantage, and I apologize. There's only one of me, but there's several pickup artists. I do not teach guys to not do cold approach. They do cold approach. They're extremely calibrated. The difference is, like, so for instance, for me, I managed a strip club for 4 years. I got to a point where I was around so much nudity and so many women objectifying me that their physical attractiveness no longer worked on me. I didn't stare at their boobies. I wasn't affected by their physical attractiveness. Well, that's what we do in our program. That's why our program is called Vegas Immersion, is because they come here, they're surrounded by super attractive women, so they're not stifled. They're not stifled. That's the whole point of immersing themselves being around beautiful women. And you can even admit, if you were in a lifestyle like mine, where you're constantly surrounded by beautiful women and your type of girl comes up, you feel nothing. There's no nervousness. It's just, hey, I get to express myself, be myself, have a blast when I hang out with this girl. And that's what my clients feel, because they're so used to being around women that they're a type. That's the thing.
Okay, so you think the route to confidence is to be around attractive women and get validated and get
no. The root of confidence is action. That's why the course is called Men of Action. The root of confidence was for me to get my instructor navigator license certification from the U.S. military. The root of confidence was for me to get promoted to captain. The root of confidence was for me to bench press a new max, 11 or 13 times. The root of confidence was for me to build an 8-figure business. The root of confidence was for me to run as far as I could in a marathon. The root of confidence was for me to get several of my clients to go from considering taking their own life to dating the woman of their dreams. My root of confidence only comes from action. It's only from action. And so that's what our ancestors did as well. Sitting there being sorry for yourself or trying to hype yourself up before you go hunt the gazelle 20,000 years ago. No, it is the man who took action. Violent, quick, extreme action. He is the one who felt the best. That's where you get the dopamine response. It is physiologically impossible to be depressed and have a basketball in your hand at the same time.
Okay, so you're telling me that the route to your confidence is the fact that you've got all of this lifestyle, this money, this physique.
Well, the physique a little bit, but no, I never said anything about money. I have a business that does well. I have to solve problems in my business all the time. That part I do appreciate. So I believe the ultimate expression of masculinity is, 1, the willingness to die for your tribe, which I have. And number 2, the willingness or the ability to accomplish goals with other people. That's where we find the efficacy and the self-esteem. In addition to that, what we do is we become these attractive men. And these attractive men that we're describing, they're surrounded by beautiful women and other beautiful women. Like you said before, pre-selection, the actual term in psychology is called mate choice copying in humans. It was originally studied in the 1970s, and in the 1990s, they started studying it in humans. And when they found out is that women choose who other women choose. And so doing that is a way better way of being able to attract women on a regular basis. And it works for the average guy. I'll show you another 100 average guys that this works for.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't need to see results. The conversation is about, is that needed? Because
I
go out there and I approach these women,
so
and realistically, I get dates for these women, they don't see me with other women at all.
Realistically,
they don't see my money. They know I've not got a six-pack.
My money either.
They don't see me with other women. But there's something about the way that I'm coming across that makes them want to see me different.
Those are fair points about the women. The rest of them are not fair points. I know, don't show any money. I have a car with 122,000 miles on it. That's the main thing I was trying to say to you. So like I understand what you're saying, but what's happening here is you're saying, is it necessary? Is it necessary to drive a car from Manchester to Liverpool? Well, it's not necessary. I could ride a bicycle, but it's way less efficient to ride a bicycle than to drive a car. What you're doing is getting better at riding a bicycle. And what I'm doing is creating a bullet train between Manchester and Liverpool. That's the difference of what we're talking about. What I'm doing is efficient. When it comes to levels of efficiency, there's no one, again, bro, we can pull up my ratings on Trustpilot. I have one guy gave me a 4 out of 5 because he was fucking too many women and he couldn't get any sleep. But other than that, I have almost a perfect score. I have almost perfect score on Trustpilot. You have to take my course in order to leave those reviews. Why are they all giving me 5-star reviews? It's because what I'm doing actually brings dozens and dozens and dozens of beautiful women into their life effortlessly. They don't have to go out all the time and do cold approach. They don't. They have a group of girls that they're friends with. They're like, hey, we're going to have board game night at my place. Each one of you bring a friend. And next thing you know, there's 6 girls in your place and 2 guys. That's how social circle works.
That's a hell of a lot of heavy lifting and organization to get to a place where most guys who just want to meet the girlfriend, or most guys who want to get more dates,